Hi there. I'm here to talk about politically correct language. I personally believe that I'm a science guy and that language should be quick, short, simple, easily understood by everyone, precise with no multiple definitions or vagueness, and serve a clear purpose of distinction. It also needs to be listable. You have to be able to put a list of words that are okay or not okay. Some of the words I've run into that have gotten me into trouble, the word dead. They say you're supposed to use terminally inconvenienced, living impaired, deceased. I ran into a second grader as a substitute teacher. A little boy comes up to me and he says, "That boy used a bad word. He used the word dead." I didn't know what to tell this little second grader because that's about the only word they're going to understand. The teacher had dead stuff all around the room. What are you supposed to tell a second grader? I can't go punish the other little kid. Luckily, I was able to ask him, is he repeating the word? And the little boy says no. So I said, don't worry about it then. Another word I ran into was mongoloid, which means Down syndrome. The school I actually went to where I learned the word's definition, I got fired that day for mentioning to our special ed teacher. I was on lunch duty with her, and I said, "Hey, you have a mongoloid student that you take care of, huh?" And she goes, "Down syndrome." And later that day, she squealed to the principal. The principal comes up to me and he says, "You cannot be using such offensive words at this school." And I was really kind of surprised that here he was telling me I couldn't use these words that I'd learned at school. It's a scientific word. It's concise. It turns out in some ways I'm kind of impressed with him now because it turns out he at least discussed it with me. A lot of places you'll never even know just what word to use. I mean, there's a whole book on politically correct words. This is a book I bought. And you wouldn't believe some of the definitions they have in there that you're supposed to be using. Another word I ran into was called favorite, the word favorite. It's a substitute. These teachers have a favorite substitute that gets first priority on the computer system. This will be an ex-school teacher that maybe has taught their class for years, so they get first choice to take it. And I used that word with one of the secretaries, so I must be one of your favorites because I was getting a lot of work at their school. That was the last day I worked there. And she was giving me this funny look like you can't use the word favorite. Apparently you have to use the word preferred. Also, you're not allowed to say you have a favorite student, which is kind of a lie. Everybody's got a favorite student. You might have to say something like, "Yeah, I have a favorite student, but I'll have to treat you fairly." Okay. Another word I ran into was the word Oriental. I'm not sure why this is considered negative. You're supposed to call somebody an Asian. An Oriental is somebody I have respect for. They've worked at what they're doing. An Asian can be just about anybody. The Russians are Asians. The people in Turkey are Asians. People in Israel are Asians. People in India are Asians. There's even a large black population in Southeast Asia. They're Asians. So the word means nothing when you use it. I also ran into the word retarded. Sometimes I have to do special ed teaching, and you're not allowed to use the word retarded because it's negative. Luckily, I didn't run into the problem with that one. Let's see here. Yeah. For me, words take on a positive or negative meaning from the inflection that we use when we say them. For me, there are no negative white man terms. The cracker, honky, white bread, wigger over there can help you do that. Doesn't bother me at all. They're just a few useful description words once used. Only inflection gives them a negative meaning. Well, I'd be curious to see what you think of this video. I'm trying to find out ways to turn around this political correctness. How do you combat it? I'm not even sure where it's coming from. I've been told that it started off with the communist political correctness. Years ago we used to hear that. Now I'm hearing it's the feminists that are pushing it. Personally, I find that the younger college-educated women seem to be promoting it the most. Well, signing off here.